This is Jupiter Beach, and it's just before sunrise. Beautiful, beautiful beach. Well, y'all, I might have gotten a little too much sun at that beach, but that was how I spent my Sunday. And now it's time to go to Everglades National Park, the second of the 4 national parks that I had planned to visit here. I also definitely got some sun at the Yankee game because we were sitting in the sun for most of the game until like the 6th or 7th inning when the shade finally caught up. So, time to go to the Everglades National Park. Had to go and test out 91 or 95 here. Just being so close, had to ride it to the end. And now we turned around from the beginning of 95 north. Route 1 north goes that way just because, again, we could. Now Everglades National Park is off of exit 3, so couldn't have gone that close without going all the way. Welcome back, 95 and Miami. We're in Miami, Florida. International Airport, there's some American Airlines planes right there. Cool. have to pay those fees if you have the park pass. Everglades National Park. I really should have worn this sun hoodie instead of a t-shirt like at the ball game and at the beach. I did wear the t-shirt, but it didn't help my face. I should have worn a hat and a sun hoodie to keep my arms and everything else from being reddened. I did use sunscreen, but it'd been sitting in my car for a couple years, so I'm wondering if it was past dated somehow.
Today, both of us were out today, and we saw a lot. So, just giving you your warning. This Karen, you're getting the more. So Karen is looking for. This Karen has actually been hanging out for a few days now in this particular spot, hunting some baby alligators. Oh yeah, that is actually the top. Besides other alligators, great blue herons are the top predator to baby alligators.
Great blue heron.
Mom just went underneath, but I do still see all the babies, and I know that Mama hears us. She even feels the vibrations of the tram. And if she would, ooh, she caught a fish. She's getting close to the heron for sure, yeah. Yeah, she is. There are quite a few babies right behind that little tall grass. Right now, on average, we lose about 80%. About 80% of our aquatic life die every year. There are 1,000 different species of insects, and they're still finding new ones. All of these dragonflies flying around, those are the Halloween pennant dragonflies, our most common species, the ones with the orange, dark brown bands. We have 64 different species of dragonfly and damselfly. And you know what they eat? Mosquitoes, which we have over 40 different species of. Highest elevation, that has a big pool of water. We have a closer look of one of those down the road, so we'll talk more about that later. That's the mountain of the Everglades. That used to be one of these. As those trees die, pile on top, eventually you go from about a foot of soil to about 6 to 9 feet of soil, allowing hardwood trees to grow, giving you a hardwood panic, aka the mountain, which we also have a closer look of later on. This pair has been hanging out here for a couple months now. This is the gray-headed swamphead. It is considered an invasive species in Florida. Whoa! I know. They're super pretty. They were introduced by Hurricane Andrew in 1992. Andrew demolished Metro Zoo, now known as Miami Zoo, and released a lot of animals. We have a lot of invasive species. We'll talk more about that later. But we have 3 species of swamp hen here, native species. The American coot, common Morgan, and the beautiful purple gallinule. Purple gallinule is about half the size of this swamp hen. More than likely we'll see some later on. She was digging. Yeah, you can actually see how murky, barely around her edge. She was currently digging, Bethany says. Save some energy. Now, weather has been a little, it got cold, really hot, and then kind of cool again. So they started growing their needles a little earlier than we usually do. But notice how the trees in the center are taller than the ones on the perimeter. Usually, when we see taller trees, we tend to think it's older. But that isn't. So the trees in the center have more room in the center to allow the roots to go deeper. Cool, you'll notice different sizes of babies. The one that just swam off is the younger one that hatched out this past fall. And then we got older ones, about year-old babies. A year and a half old babies. That's very cool. like are hatched. They were born, I think in March or something later on, but that is one of our guiding bird species, the Antarctica. It is a female. I know that because of that tan neck that she has. One of these are in the canal of the road where they're driving next to. Two questions up here. My favorite one. This is our second tallest wading bird in the park, the great egret. And we're very lucky today to be able to see them because, in my opinion, we do a lot of strange things for fashion.
So those are the saunas, complimentary saunas, because the sun is super hot right now. It's about 85 degrees, but the sun definitely feels hotter. So the tram was the only way I was getting to this tower right here, because it is such a hot day, and with the unfortunate burn that I have, it's even hotter on that skin, so I'm wearing the sun hoodie to cover up, and it's not as bad. Little trail here, the Barrow Pit Trail. So we're in the dry season of the Everglades right now, and they were saying in the rainy season there's obviously a lot more high water, and sometimes in the really rainy seasons even covers the road that we were driving on. The rainy season is the summertime from like May through October. I think we made the right call taking the tram when we arrived. I don't really have a plan for each day. I'm just kind of winging it each day. But I arrived at the Shark Valley Visitor Center and I saw, oh, tram, bike or walk. And like, yeah, I'm gonna take the tram because in this heat, I don't think I wanna bike or walk 15 miles. The road loop is 15 miles. Yeah, those restrooms are closed. You have to take the saunas. All right, you want to read this sign over here? There we go, original Everglades. A huge part of Florida, there's Lake Okeechobee. This looks kind of like the style of Clingmans-Dome. Shark Valley Observation Tower. See the road there that the tram takes. A lot of the same as we look out, but it's a great observation point. Also, when they were building highways, the highways stopped the flow of water into Everglades. So now they're building bridges like that to allow the flow to be smoother into Everglades National Park. You know, we like the sun and sunny days, but I could use a few more clouds on days like this when the sun is extremely hot down here. Mistakes were made yesterday. I was out in the sun at the heat of the day. Normally you don't want to be out in the sun between the hours of 12 and 4 if it's a really hot sun. So I made that mistake, exploring some of the beaches while I was waiting for Everglades today, since yesterday was Easter. And the other mistake is that I did not wear these sun hoodies. I wore a t-shirt instead, and it would have been much better for me if I wore the sun hoodies and my hat. I think it's great to be on this tram ride because we're seeing a lot of wildlife already, and it's farther than I would have gone on foot today. The wind destroyed my scenery. There could be alligators anywhere on this little trail. Found a gator right in there.
Walking on those spotted dock leaves, bright candy corn feet, bright yellow legs, green purple feathers. Very cool, good spot. I mean, they open up their mouth and show up the white inside. As they come out, you have great blue on my side. There's also an alligator back there. With babies around it, 95%. The other two You see what looks like fat baby cheeks? You guys see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You just want to grab them and like shake them. So crocodilians do not have fat. They're muscle. Those turkey cheeks are what they call the family crocodilians. How they struggle fight the entire animal kingdom. 900 pounds of force.
This is what is underneath the alligator's
Just
crocodile
that.
skin.
Just
It's
that.
very
Yes.
hard and is used for defense.
Quick here. And these have birds, an animal or a plant. Please make sure you know what it is you're getting yourself into. Get ready to build a nest.
This one's a crocodile. Has a pointed
Before
snout.
it has the American crocodile,
And this one's an alligator. Has a rounded snout.
Now, if you ever find something swallowed up on the ground, they're going to take advantage. In Florida, if you look at all the stories about the attacks, they're all either in residential areas where people are swimming or where people are feeding them. Just like if you feed a duck or a pigeon, a duck or pigeon, you're going to start coming back wanting to fight.
There's the information about renting a bicycle. Turn around, we're getting a great look at you. Well, I guess that's Everglades day one. It's 5 o'clock. We still have 2 hours till sunset, so we might go check out the loop road and then think about where we're going to spend the night tonight. So far, we're doing, just the plan is to do a lot of tent camping and car camping if we can find a suitable place every night. So we haven't done a hotel yet, and I don't know what day it is. Entering Big Cypress National Preserve. Roberts Lake Trail. It is the beginning of the extension to the Florida Trail. The actual Florida Trail goes or starts at the Oasis Visitor Center, which is 8 miles north of here. But this used to be the other extension. I found a nice place to pull off. Beautiful night sky here on this remote dirt loop road. So it'll be a nice spot to camp for the night. This trail is said to be mostly underwater and also overgrown, so some people don't like taking it too much. But there's where it goes into the woods there. I can already see why people say that it's kind of overgrown, because yeah, there's a trail here, but it's a lot of brush over here, and there could be crocodiles anywhere on this trail. I think we're going to make a backpacking meal tonight. Another one of those 600-700 calorie meals because I need to make sure I'm eating enough. And I haven't eaten any dinner at like restaurants or anything yet, so definitely need to make sure I'm consuming enough calories. So I'm gonna make one of those, cook a backpacking meal, and then get some sleep. I've already actually been napping a little bit since I pulled over. So yeah, it's been a good day. I'm annoyed at myself for making the mistake with the sun, which I was very careful on when I did the Appalachian Trail, so I should have known better. I think I'm losing some brain cells not through hiking, because I was smarter with everything like this back when I was through hiking, but now I'm making mistakes and paying for it. So I'm hurting a little bit right now due to that, but I know how it works. I haven't been actually sunburned for like a few years. Last year it didn't happen when I was through hiking because I was always so careful with the long sleeves, and I wore long sleeves even when it was warm because I didn't want to get sunburned. Also the bugs. So I did really well last year with that, but not this year, but I think I've learned the lesson. So let's make some dinner and call it a day here in Everglades National Park. But right now we're actually in Big Cypress National Preserve, which borders Everglades, but it's still scenic, quiet, really quiet, and it'll be a really dark spot to enjoy the night tonight. So then we'll continue west tomorrow to Oasis Visitor Center, and then the next visitor center after that, farther west, where you can rent some kayaks, and I'll look into that. So we are Stick to Eagle. It's been a day here down in South Florida. Tune in tomorrow to see what happens next. For now, always remember to embrace the journey and happy trails. This will be what we try this evening. Some sausage and tomato sauce and pasta, yep. Let's boil our water. Looks good, right? Yeah.